How we doing today, boys and girls? This is IronWings3187 coming at you with another review. As I stated last time, I'm kind of getting back into doing my more knife-oriented reviews rather than more firearm-based ones because I'm kind of wanting to put some space in between each one of those. Firearms are fun, they're one of my favorite hobbies, but I kind of have more knives than I do firearms, so I want to kind of space them out and make them a bit more unique in their uploading. So today is going to be a re-upload or a re-review of one of my earlier Storytime with Iron Wings videos. The original video I came out with, I was filming on a piece of cardboard because my dryer in my garage had just gone out. And the issue I'm having is that the video is very out of focus to the point where most of the comments I have gotten on it are about it being out of focus and learning how to refocus a video. And I understand it's out of focus, but at the time I was kind of working with inferior equipment. I was without a table, I had broken my tripod and was waiting to get my new one in stock, so I was just kind of working with the best of what I had. Not excuses, but just kind of that's what happens where you're new to the YouTube game, is that you kind of have to work with what you have. So now that I've got a bit better equipment, I'm working a bit more on my productivity on this channel, I decided I'd go ahead and fix an old video that needed fixing. So today we'll be discussing the Victorinox Solo Alox pocket knife. This is kind of one of those odd things where I uploaded it under my Storytime with Iron Wings videos, but it doesn't really properly deserve that, so I think I'm going to change this, swap it out with another Storytime video later on down the road. I think I'm going to re-upload this instead as a review, because there wasn't really a whole lot of story behind this knife that made it special to me. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into reviewing the knife itself. The Victorinox Solo Alox is a Victorinox product, and it's kind of unique in that this is about the most distilled pocket knife that Victorinox has ever made. You do have knife patterns like the Floral, which is a sheep's foot blade that is a knife only, but this really is kind of just the pure essence of a pocket knife. It is a single blade in a folding configuration, no locking mechanism, and it is very simple in that way. Blade centering is okay. There's not a whole lot to talk about because it's so simple. This is actually, as I've said multiple times, what will probably be one of my trademarks, one of my favorite pocket knife designs. Not my favorite overall, but probably one of my favorite designs, because this is almost kind of the ultimate gentleman's knife. The silver Alox grip frames almost make it flash a little. It makes it look classy when you're carrying it in a tuxedo, if you're carrying it at work, whatever. And because everyone and their mother is familiar with the Swiss Army knife, either through Boy Scouts, male relatives that had them, Army, whatever, almost anyone on American soil is familiar with the Swiss Army knife, even just through the show MacGyver alone. So this, I would say the Victorinox and the, I can't remember the name of the other company, unfortunately. It was bought up by Victorinox a few years ago. But basically between these two companies, the Swiss Army knife, outside of maybe the Buck 110, is probably the most well-known knife in America, and the public at large, who are not very knife-friendly, have had more exposure to this brand of knives than I would dare say any other type. Which means, you pull this out at like a wedding to, you know, do your nails or sit there and just mess with, or you open it at a table at work to open your letters. It's not going to turn a lot of heads. People are just going to look over and say, oh, and then get back to work, because Victorinox is very kind of known. There's not really any other way to put it. They are just very public, and so I kind of feel this is something that the average man is going to be able to carry almost anywhere and not get in any trouble for, you know, carrying a super tactical grim-looking knife, something like my SOG Tomcat that looks very tactical and very intimidating. And again, this is not something I normally consider when I'm buying my pocket knives. This one I bought because I had previously owned, let's see if I can find it here. There we are. I have previously owned the Victorinox Pioneer Alox. As you can see, very similar in design, but my problem was it was a little bit too heavy because it's got the can opener, the screwdriver, the awl. This is kind of the original. It's based on the original pocket knife that Victorinox designed, the 1890s model. And it felt a little heavy when I was carrying it every day in my pocket. So I went online, looked around, and I saw someone's video reviewing the Victorinox Solo. And I thought, that might be my answer. I really do like that design. Order it, get it shipped to my house, and ever since I've owned it, it's been one of those ones where I started carrying it all the time. And it has just kind of grown on me. It's really thin, really light. There's not, unlike the Mercator K55, like I told you last time, the rivets here are much less pronounced. This one right here you can feel a little bit, but the rest of them are all pretty much flush fit with the scale. And this feels very good, very well in your hand. The Alox, a lot of people don't really care for it because Victorinox is kind of known for their more traditional red plastic scales. But I kind of like it because it does give you a little bit of additional grip when you're maneuvering with the knife. Opening it, closing it. And I carry something like this along with my Gerber multi-tool when I go to the range, just so I can have something that's, a little knife that I can dig spent cases out of the chamber with. And another reason I kind of like this is it's a very inexpensive knife. As most of my knives have gone, the price on these has risen slowly due to the cost of steel going up, but you can still have these for about $20 to $25. At that price, there's not really a whole lot of incentive to get rid of this knife. This is something that you're just going to pick up, use, resharpen, basically until the knife either snaps or until you've worn it down to a toothpick. There's something about this knife I really do enjoy, and it's not something that you can quantify in words, descriptions. There's a lot of other YouTubers that could probably do that, Chris, but to me it's just something that you enjoy. A lot of people will carry a buck 110 because they enjoy the feel of it. They like the heft, they like the size, and they know it's impractical because they can't carry it in their pocket. They have to use the pouch like this to carry it around on their belt. So it's just kind of one of those things where, yeah, I get it. It's not the most practical knife, and it kind of defies the fact, like most people who want a Victorinox like this aren't going to want one that's just the knife only, because the appeal of Victorinox or Swiss Army knives is the multitude of gizmos and gadgets that come in the handle. That being said, there's something that's unique about a knife that comes from a company like that only has the pocket knife to me. And I already like the feel of most Victorinox products, so having one that's just a pocket knife is very convenient to me and very well built. So would I recommend you buy it? I don't see why not. If you like Victorinox knives, this is something that you're probably already going to own, because a lot of Victorinox collectors have to have like one of every model. And, the price to me alone makes this a must-get, because Victorinox already has an outstanding or stellar reputation for quality builds and decent steel for the price you pay. They have to be sharpened frequently, but they're also easy to sharpen. So, yeah, I'd say go out and buy it from Amazon, because to me, it's a great little starter piece for your kid. And, given that Boy Scouts aren't really around anymore, I'm sure there are little independent troops still out there, but I really do think that if you want a good beginner's knife, or just something that you can slip into your slacks if you're going to something or going to work, I'd say pick this up. It's well worth the money, it's decent quality construction, and it's just a whole lot of fun to own and use. Feels good in your hand, and it looks good while doing it, I think. So, with that, I hope this video was a bit more in focus for you guys. I know there wasn't a whole lot, but this is just kind of a personal, anecdotal review for me rather than more factual like some of my earlier knife videos. So with that out of the way, I'm just going to let you guys go. Thank you for watching and putting up with me. If you liked the video, go ahead and comment down below, subscribe, hit the like button. Do whatever you think is appropriate. And until next time, this is Iron Wings 3187 signing off.